What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on the Flash movie. There always seems to be controversy around the Flash movie because no one really knows how this movie ends. Or do they? So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here with another video on The Flash. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture-based content that we try to do on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below what is going on with the Flash movie. There are so many little updates and little tidbits here and there to talk about. If you could, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter. Warstu, and if you could, follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Warstu. I will be streaming over there very, very soon. So, there's been a lot of interesting information coming out recently from the Flash movie. But what I find fascinating is none of it is realistically new information. So, we got, I guess, in a roundabout way, you could say, we got our first full look of the second Flash suit. Did we? No, not really. I guess it depends how you look at it, because in the first trailer teaser we got, the second Flash, played by Ezra Miller's stunt double, who looks exactly like him, has basically got a Batman suit on that's shaped and spray painted red so it looks like a Flash suit. But in the most recent, it's not really an image, it's a cartoon picture. We get what really does look like the Batman suit. Even the ears have been chopped off and you can see the black bits all over it. You could tell it's been spray painted. So yeah, it looks like that's how they're gonna differentiate, basically. So you can tell the difference between the two Flashes. But is there gonna be a third Flash? I don't know. You can't really have a Flash movie without the reverse Flash, or can you? I don't know. So let's address some controversy. So a lot of people have this impression that I don't like Ezra Miller, and the reason why I keep saying he should be recast is because I don't like him. No, it's got nothing to do with that. This channel was founded on the Flash TV show. I'm one of the biggest Flash fans ever. I have very high expectations for what Barry Allen should be, what the Flash should be, what Wally West should be, what the Reverse Flash should be, what any kind of character related to Flash should be in the DC universe. That is why I'm hypocritical about Ezra Miller. And why do I keep saying he should and could be recasted? Because that is the information going around. Is it because of things he's allegedly done in his personal life? No, it's not to do with that. That's just more evidence and more precedence that he should be. But when I get comments like this, it really, I put a tweet out the other day, it really does make me laugh. People think that I want him recasted because of the whole what's going on in his personal life, allegedly. No, the reason I want him recast is because I don't think he's a good Flash. I don't think he's a good Barry Allen. He's just not the guy. Nothing against him, but he's just not that guy. He is not that guy. So that's why I want a new Flash. And based on all these rumors and information and alleged inside sources coming out, it looks like there will be a recasting for the Flash anyway. So I do find that fascinating. So also in the news, according to the Flash film news page on Twitter, the cape on Sasha Calle's Supergirl suit plays homage to the classic Superman design with a Man of Steel twist. Now, what I do find a lot about this movie very interesting. So they test screened it recently, as we said in the previous video. The Flash sparks up another win with a positive reception for the audience who attended a private screening held at the studio this month. Though the film is still incomplete with missing VFX, sound mixing, and it remains largely unchanged. So as you guys know, I indirectly call out scoopers for saying stuff, and then this is where we get to a tiny part of this video. So let's briefly go over the plot leak. So this movie, okay, I think you're actually going to be surprised how much Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton actually appear in this movie. They don't actually appear in this movie as much as what some people are expecting. So, don't get me wrong, they're still in the movie a fair bit, just not as much as what people are expecting. So, based on a test screening by, I would say, the most reliable kind of scooper there is for plot leaks, because this dude's been right about so many movies recently. But it's worth saying there has been multiple different test screening. So this may not actually be what happens, but we need to go over this for full context. So Barry is very confused because the Mercedes-Benz pulls up from the beginning of the movie, the one that had Batfleck there. The doors open and it's Michael Keaton, not Ben Affleck. Steps out of the Mercedes-Benz. It's Michael Keaton. Then Supergirl shows up. Barry's confused. He's like, wait a minute. How are you here? I chose to put the tomato can back. My mum died. How are you here? And they're like, well, maybe you can tell us what happened, okay? So at the end of the movie, Keaton shows up in Ben Affleck's Mercedes-Benz, and then Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, shows up. Now this post-credit here It's essentially teasing the Justice League scene, but this is where we're going to get into today's kind of story that is floating around on the internet. But still, no one can tell me why Ben Affleck is in the Aquaman movie, or is he in it, or when is it set? The post-credit scene starts with Barry helping out a drunk Aquaman at a bar. Jason Momoa does have a cameo here, and then Barry's like, wait, here, he's all messed up, or whatever. So he goes home, turns on the computer, goes to the fridge to get some milk or something, and then there's a distress call on the computer monitor. He goes to it, and it's Batfleck in the batsuit. Batfleck in the batsuit, where is he? And he's like, Barry, you've got to help me. You've changed the timeline. You've got to rescue me. It's implied that he's in another universe, but can somehow talk to him. This is the post-credit scene. Ben Affleck Batman does still exist somewhere, and Barry may have to go save him. Okay, cool. So there's a scene with Aquaman in it, and a scene where Ben Affleck gets lost in time somewhere. Okay, so you remember all summer there's been massive reshoots and all this kind of stuff. Okay, cool. There's been massive reshoots, yet no test screening information from anyone I've spoke to has said anything different than Michael Keaton's Sherpa in the movie with Sasha Calle's Supergirl. So, stick with me, okay? So this, I mean, we'll go over the plot leak again in a video in the week, just for full context, but realistically, this is the end of the movie, okay? So, firstly, Aquaman. How does Ben Affleck appear in Aquaman? No one can answer this question. No one could answer it. I actually put a tweet out the other day about this, and still, no one could answer it. No one got close to it. I got a few responses. Like, maybe Aquaman is confused and flashbacks of the original timeline, which leads him to thinking Barry and others are trying to restore things. Okay, literally no tweet. I put a tweet out and no one said it. Events of Aquaman happened before The Flash. I wouldn't believe any plot leak. Okay, I would, because it's pretty much true. Flashbacks, literally no one can give me an answer. So I get sent alleged information from a scooper. You know me, I don't directly say who they are, but you know it is what it is. So I get sent this, okay? You got to remember there's been massive reshoots. Henry Cavill's been shooting so much. Ben Affleck's been shooting so much. I get sent this. There will be a small Justice League match at the end of The Flash. But who appears? Are Clark Kent, Diana Prince, Keaton, Batman, Supergirl, and of course, The Flash will appear. Okay, so after all these major reshoots, there's a little scene at the end of the movie. But the context is, it's not saying Ben Affleck's there, it's saying Keaton's there. Interesting. So then Aquaman 2. When is it set? Because Keaton's at the end of this movie. Batfleck's still lost in time. So after all these massive reshoots, interesting. We've already seen photos of Wonder Woman on the bus. We've seen Supergirl. We've seen Keaton at the courthouse when they filmed it and to be fair, they filmed a bunch of it in London. So we already know that Gal Gadot Wonder Woman's in this movie. We already know Keaton's in it. We already know Supergirl's in it. We already know Warstu's in it. We already know that Henry Cavill was allegedly in LA when they did the minor reshoots for this movie, and he just happened to be at the right place at the right time. So some variants of Superman or Clark Kent will appear at the end of the movie. And Gal Gadot was already in this movie, and she just happened to be in LA at the same time as well. The stars are aligning. So what I don't get here is people keep saying major reshoots, major rewrites and stuff. So I was sent this link on Twitter. And all it's saying is, yeah, there's going to be a little tease for the Justice League at the end of the movie, but there's already been a massive tease for the Justice League throughout the Flash alleged plot leak. So what are they going to do? Talk about how to save Batfleck? They're like, yo, we've got to get Batfleck. We've got to get Batfleck. But what I find interesting here is there's no context. It's just that these characters could appear, and it's almost like you're covering your own back when you go, with the possibility of adding more characters, they're not going to keep changing things. They're not going to keep doing test screening, private screeners. They've done so many. They've screened The Flash more than any other movie I've heard about for the last... I've been doing this for like 5 years or so, right? I've never heard of a movie screening as much as this movie. So they're not going to keep screening stuff. So huge reshoots, and all we're getting is a little scene at the end of the movie with Clark Kent, which is cool, don't get me wrong. Diana Prince, talking about how to get Batfleck back? What are they talking about? And then James Gunn comes out and says something, and everyone thinks, oh, there's major reshoots going on and major everything. Not really. He didn't really say much. And of course, whatever James Gunn and Pete Safran are working on, the current movies in the current DC are going to have to connect to it somehow. So whatever their plan is, post these 4 movies that are coming out next year, yeah, they might add little notes here, little bits here to connect and set up whatever else is coming. So if there is something at the end of The Flash with Henry Cavill, Superman, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, this is to do with what's coming next. And if this ending sticks where Ben Affleck Batman is stuck in an alternate universe. It is setting up a major crisis event, or the biggest DC event ever, which we already know they're leading up to. But it does make you think, why is Michael Keaton at the end of the movie and not Ben Affleck? And I know, yeah, people are going to be like, yo, this information is not true. Every screener has had the same thing. Keaton's still at the end of the movie, pretty much. From what we hear, and just look on Twitter, look at plot leaks, it's everywhere that Keaton's at the end of the movie. Someone please debunk me. Please tell me I'm wrong. How is Affleck in Aquaman 2? Is he? We don't know. So let's go over what James Gunn actually said. So, James Gunn responded to a message. The next 5 films have nothing to do with you, James. LOL, crying face. James Gunn responds with his verification tick. I wish you told me this before I started giving notes. So, what does this mean? It means that whatever they're setting up for the DC Bible, the future of the DC cinematic universe, that James Gunn has already implemented changes to the Blue Beetle movie, to the Flash movie, to Shazam 2, and also to Aquaman 2. It does not mean these are huge changes. It just means he's handed notes. What does that actually mean? It means they want connectivity from whatever is set up in the next 4 movies that come out next year. So it's cool. It really is cool that James Gunn can slide in the DMs, and whatever's happening in his movies are still going to be canon to the future of the DCEU. So people are running with, yeah, the new DCEU doesn't start till 2024. No, it starts with these movies that are coming out because they're still canon. Like, whatever's coming in the future, Black Adam is technically part of the new DCEU. So it's cool that James Gunn is transparent. Cool. I expected little things would change here and there. But like I've always said, I don't think the Flash movie has a drastically different movie than the movie that had the test information come out. I think, when was it? It was June last year. June 6 months ago or so, this year. Sorry. So I don't actually think there's going to be much changes other than Henry Cavill added and then the whole Supergirl stuff, because the original Flash movie had the whole Man of Steel killing Zod being erased. Baby Superman was going to die before he ever left Krypton and come down to Earth. So that whole thing where, I don't know, can they take that out? Because this movie is very expensive. So there was supposed to be some kind of massive fight with Zod and Fiora and Sasha Calle's Supergirl. But for some reason, Superman's now in this movie, which is cool. So it was going to like stop the Zod killing part of the movie. That was going to be taken out, and there was going to be a fight. So it's actually Supergirl that fights Zod, and actually Batman was involved with this fight. Are they going to cut all that? I don't know, because Zod wouldn't actually exist because he snapped his neck. I don't know. But it's a multiverse movie, so anything could change, or some kind of variance to that, and that still might happen. I really hope there is a Zod Fiora fight in this movie, because that would be cool. Although it was a flashback fight, it would have to be Henry Cavill Superman if they're not erasing the Henry Cavill Superman from the timeline. But seeing as he appears in Black Adam, and also seeing as Warner Bros. Discovery reshared the post that Henry Cavill put on Instagram, Henry Cavill isn't going anywhere. So I'm really interested to see what's actually going to go on there. And if they have changed anything, I really hope they just put a reference to the Reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne or any of the Flash villains that makes sense. I mean, Eobard Thawne makes the most sense. So likewise, guys, let me know. What do you think about this movie? Is Ben Affleck lost in time? Will he appear in Aquaman 2? Do you care? Well, I somewhat think I've got a DC audience, but whatever's happening, James Gunn's on board. He's handing them notes out, and he wished he was told by that random person before he started handing those notes out. So minor changes will be in all these 4 movies that come out next year, which is interesting. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WarstuG, and also check us out on twitch.tv/Warstu. I'll be streaming over there very, very soon. And if you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know everything about the Flash movie. And like always, guys, I did say earlier, I don't dislike Ezra Miller. I just don't think he's a good Flash. That is why I hope he gets recast. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.